All right, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And this is another article which I have found through thepeoplesvoice.com, as you see right here. Tucker Carlson reveals U.S. government in contact with supernatural beings. Details so disturbing, he won't tell his wife. Okay, now, I'm going to title this video, Have They Been Using CERN to Get in Contact with Supernatural Beings? Now, we know that when these Edomites, which the biblical Edomites is the self-proclaimed white man, we know that when these Edomites start talking about supernatural beings, he's really talking about the angels and the demons of the Heavenly Father. Okay, and I say that because Satan also serves the Heavenly Father, okay? There was never a war in heaven where, like the beloved brother Yashawamba said, Satan was up in heaven, playing on a piano. Let's tutti fruity. And then the Most High, just Sparta kick his ass out of heaven and shit. And, Satan fall out of heaven and he lands somewhere in a Taco Bell in Mexico. Okay. Nah, man, there was never, there was never any war between Satan and the Most High. Okay. And shalom to that beloved brother Yashawamba from the Dallas camp too, by the way. Shalom to that beloved brother. But, say Satan, like the beloved Yashawamba and other brothers in Great Millstone teach, Satan works for the Most High. So, when Esau starts talking about supernatural beings, we know that they're really talking about the angels and the demons of the Lord, because they both serve the Heavenly Father. The angels, they serve the evil angels, which are the demons. They serve the Heavenly Father by bringing evil on the earth, whether upon people, animals, creeping things, the marine life, you name it. The angels, the evil angels, the demons are there to cause misfortunes upon people. Whether if it's to delete somebody or carry out a particular will of the Heavenly Father here on earth. Okay. But then you got the right-handed angels who have been sent forth down here on earth to guide the Heavenly Father's elect, the 1/3, to salvation. So both angels on both sides serve the Heavenly Father, okay? Ain't no demons rebelling against the Heavenly Father, okay? None of that. Okay, they all work for the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. So again, could CERN been used to get in contact with supernatural beings? Now, we know before in the past, right? Um, when these devils, which we know that the biblical devils, the biblical devils are the Edomites. Okay, the biblical devils are the Edomites. Okay, we know that somewhere before in the past, these devils had used CERN to try to gain contact with the spiritual realm, and they received a disturbing message. Okay, many tekel, you farson or something like that. They received some kind of strange message, but it was concerning Babylon, which is the United States of America. Let's see if I can find the news. This came out some years back, so I wouldn't be surprised if the news article was gone. Let me see. I'm gonna just type in news article because remember, these guys used CERN to try to get in contact with the spiritual realm, and they received a strange message called many tekel, which is in the Holy Scriptures. Because the last time that was written, right, the Babylonians, the leaders of Babylon were partying, drinking out of, the golden vessels, which they took out of our temples. A big, dark, brown-skinned hand appeared out of nowhere and started writing on the walls. Okay? And you can find that in the book of Daniel. Let me see, news articles. See, news article after using CERN. They received a strange message. Oh, wait, while using CERN, not after. Okay, while using CERN. Okay. Oh, nah, don't lie, because I've even done a video on. No, a brother have done a video on it before in the past. CERN is hunting something that shouldn't exist. What do you mean? Let me see. Yeah, you see. Scientists claim there is a portal beneath CERN where beings come and go. The claim was made by Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, a Swiss scientist who asserts that CERN is working on a secret nuclear program and that there is a portal beneath CERN through which beings come and go. Okay, let's see. So, and if you watch like the back rooms, they'll show you how they be using how they be trying to use CERN to create portals. So, I mean, obviously they removed the news article. Okay, they removed the news article, but some news did come out where they was messing around with CERN, and they got some they got a message that made them uneasy, and it was similar to many tekel tekel. But of course they removed the news article, so too I'm not really gonna make too much of a big deal about it because there's many news articles that were removed before in the past. Okay, like the news article that came out with the guy who was talking to a TV show host, and basically he was telling them how he saw men getting out of those UFOs and they look like tall black men. That article is long gone. Okay, so I'm not surprised. So it says, you know, and if this kingdom was allowed to go on some years down the line, this article will be gone eventually. Okay, you ain't gonna never be able to find this article. But so they claim that they have been in contact, right, with supernatural beings, with angels or whatnot. And he said the details are so disturbing he won't tell his wife. Now, the only thing I could think of when it comes to disturbing details is that he probably received a message by one of the angels of the Lord, basically the angels of the Lord telling him, what him and his people's future is. Because we know what the future is for the Edomites, and not just the Edomites, but the heathen nations. We know what their future is according to biblical prophecy. You see? You see? So we know that the biblical future of the Edomites and the heathens is slavery, and that they're going to build up our kingdom, which is the kingdom of heaven, and that the Edomites are going to get it really, really bad in the kingdom of heaven. And that's probably the disturbing news he got. One of the angels probably told him, like, look, your kingdom is going to be destroyed by nuclear warheads during World War III in a nuclear war. you know, your so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds or Rockefellers are going right into slavery in chains and shackles. That's according to the book of Psalms 149. And you and your whole nation is going into slavery, and some terrifying and horrifying things are going to happen to you during your captivity. You see, in which everything I said is true and is biblical. Okay. And a matter of fact, let's get some precepts to that. Oh, I was already there. Check that out. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So you see, the nation that have led the nation of Israel into captivity, that nation shall go into captivity. And a matter of fact, let's read Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Okay, Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Now, when you go to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, it gives you a list of our adversaries, which we have on this planet, in which our top adversary on this planet are the Edomites. Okay? And the Edomites are the ones responsible for, they're the main ones responsible for putting the nation of Israel into slavery. So, into slavery. So it says, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You see? So that's probably the news he got from that angel. You know, like, hey, look, you and your people are going to be slaves to the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. You know? And to any Edomite or heathen, this would indeed be terrifying news, because nobody is going to escape their captivity. Neither is anybody going to escape biblical prophecy. So all these things are going to happen and come to pass, right? And this is probably what he was told. Huh? Where's my Opera app? Why do you keep closing? This is probably what he was told. He was probably told his future, which is the same thing the Heavenly Father told these Edomites through his prophets here on earth. That, look, you Edomites are going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven. And that's probably what these supernatural beings told him. Okay. Tucker Carlson says the U.S. government is actively in contact with dark supernatural beings. Now, notice how they say dark, right? But they won't put skin in there, because they know that these supernatural beings are dark-skinned. See, Esau will put a part of the truth in there. Dark supernatural beings. They're telling you that these angels and demons, the Heavenly Father, and even the Messiah, they all look like black people. They all look like dark-skinned. They all look like so-called Negroes. Okay? Okay, and he says, and the truth is so terrifying that the public has been kept in the dark for nearly a century. Yeah, because, well, what kind of Edomite, that's living good, drinking lemonade, he's living in the best areas of the earth. Every day when he wakes up, it feels like a party to him. He don't have to work. What kind of Edomite wants to hear by his higher ups or his higher officials that he's going to be a slave in the future below the same people that his people enslaved? What kind of Edomite wants to hear that? Well, anyways, that's the dark, terrifying news. This country is going to be destroyed in nuclear fire during World War III, which the nuclear warheads will come from Russia, China, India, Iran, Russia, North Korea, China, and any other countries that have nuclear warheads. They're going to shoot their missiles on this country, including NATO. NATO is going to shoot their missiles on this country and the land of Israel. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. It's on to the next one.